everybody, and welcome to the only place with as much tension as a turret and louder than the roundtable. It's the Traitors official podcast.
That's right. This is your one stop for all things Traitors. We're your hosts. I'm Boston Rob.
And my name is Bob, the drag queen. Now, listen, we wouldn't be very good traitors if we didn't have some twist up our sleeves. So we decided for a mid-season wardrobe change and, some brand new scenery.
That's right. And for those of you just listening, it won't make a difference at all.
But I mean, I'm really loving this new space. What do you think?
It's beautiful. I think it's a definite upgrade from the CGI fireplace that we had at the first place.
And you all comment below. Who do you think decorated? Me, Boston Rob, or a paid professional?
And you'd be surprised.
This is the show where we discuss and dissect all the drama and gameplay of TV's most treacherous show. And fair warning, we discuss all of it, every part of it. Spoiler alert, spoiler alert. This is your time to watch the show and come back when you're all caught up.
We're going to go through tonight's episode beat by beat, and then we'll be joined in studio by the traitor that's on everyone's mind, Candace.
I'm gonna cry.
I know.
I love her so
excited.
much. She is mother. But for now, let's get into tonight's episode. We're gonna start right off in the thick of it, all right? Rob and Candace are in the turret, and it is, okay, what's more awkward? This turret or the turret after I got eliminated?
Well, the turret you got eliminated, you didn't come back in.
Yeah!
If you did, that would have been way worse. So, I mean, I can't even imagine how the two of them are feeling.
Well, let's take a look at the moment.
I don't think there was enough evidence for me to have to vote Lisa out.
Evidence? What does evidence have anything to do with it? Stop the nonsense. You're a traitor.
Me. You don't think that was, like, uncalled for?
It's those Gen Z bangs.
However, I'm withholding that Colton is suspicious of her. I have information she needs. And if she's gonna lie to me, she's not gonna get it.
So, of course, Alan comes in to break the tension, and then he's like, you can recruit or you can murder. And then they're kind of going back and forth. They're going back and forth, and eventually they land on murdering.
I agree with that decision.
Yeah.
I don't think, like, at this point, bringing someone else into the turret is gonna bond them. If anything, it's gonna make the other person suspicious of the new person coming in, that someone's gonna gain an advantage.
They are much more likely to agree on who to murder than agree on who to bring in.
But I think he knows by allowing Colton to get murdered, that will also lead a charge to get Candace out.
And it could also give him a little bit of good grace with Candace, at least for the time being. Now it's just a race. It is now a race to see who's gonna get who.
This is a side note. It looks like the backwards hat is catching on. Did you catch that?
Listen, I acquiesced at our reunion that the hat for you is fashion.
I know, but this other guy named Rob is rocking it not only in the turret, but in his interviews too now.
For him, it's reductive. For you, it's iconic. You know what I mean?
My dog.
He's one of your horror cruxes
I mean,
at this point. You have all these little baby Robs around the world who wanna recreate what you've done on these shows.
Well, at this point, I think he's playing a good game.
No, he is.
We'll see what happens in the future.
All right, so let's go ahead and move on to breakfast, right? Everyone's still reeling from the fact they're all like, oh my God, Lisa kissed Jam Jam. She's the one, we got her. They're still like kind of excited from that, but now they're on edge. Did someone get murdered? And if it was, who is it? So Eric, Johnny, Tara, and Maura, they're the first ones to come in. First in is actually easier than being the last in.
Oh, for sure, because you don't have any eyes on you.
Yeah.
And you're setting the tone.
And sometimes it's all traitors.
Yeah, sometimes it is.
Sometimes it's all traitors, and they're like, oh, the door knock. Hey, come in there, please. But then Maura is like, for some reason, she seems like she's on to Candace.
Yeah.
Well, Johnny's kind of defending Candace in this moment. Johnny's like, I don't think she is.
What is it that makes the faithfuls want to, like, stand up and defend someone when they don't know?
I don't get it. Like, do not vouch for anyone.
Right.
Do not vouch. Do not be like, nuh-uh, not him. It couldn't possibly be him, because then you're going to have egg on your face.
Right.
So we find that Colton is murdered. Colton does not come in. Let's take a look at the clip. Not the smiling.
The goal of this murder was to cut the alliance between Rob and Colton. Rob was using Colton to get Lisa out. And who's to say he wouldn't do the same thing and have Colton float my name? So, Colton, I love you, but safe travels.
He was a huge asset to the team.
Obviously, at this point, Candace and Rob are competing with each other to take down each other's support system and get each other banished. I just feel like if they just chill out, work together, they can do a lot of damage.
They can't.
But they're not going to.
They can't. It's too hard, because when people are burned, they have a hard time, like, psychologically saying, okay, that was in the past, let's go, because they don't want to be burned again.
Yeah.
But
you're
like,
always thinking, did I leave the stove on? Did I leave the stove on? Did I leave the stove on? Johnny and Tara have no clue who's a traitor. They think it's Natalie. They think it's Steven. They don't, and I will say this, but at least they're not dangerous faithfuls, because no one gives anything they say any merit.
They're often wrong, but I think, like, as a faithful, not leading the charge is better than the opposite.
So Eric is now doing a little bit of his work. They're eating outside the castle, and then Eric starts floating out Candace's name. This is not a good look.
What is it that Candace did to get on Eric's radar?
I genuinely can't tell what it is, because I think she's done a really good job covering her tracks, but now she has an enemy in the turret, which is the worst kind of enemy to have.
I don't even think she has an enemy per se. Like, I think, like, Rob is willing to let it just play itself out.
Well, I don't know, because he tells everyone the last thing that Colton said was Candace's name.
Oh, yeah. Well, at that point, he's ready to go.
Yeah, he's gunning for, they know it's a race to the finish line, and they're just trying to trip each other up and distract each other. So Rob pulls, which is probably the oldest and one of the most effective tricks out of the Traitor Handbook, which is give a quote from a person who cannot come back and corroborate it, right?
Yes.
The last thing that Colton said as he was I heard it from his room being yelled, Candace murdered me.
And nobody questions it. Why does no one question it?
I think it's because he doesn't put out a ton. Like, he's not someone like Colton. Colton is throwing out, he's like, Candace, Lisa, you, Donna, Mark, he's throwing out every name. But when you say less, what you say has more impact. At the same time, they cut to Candace in the kitchen, and she's telling people it's Rob, but look at the optics, y'all. Rob has an audience. Candace has less people. Rob is literally just telling more people it is Candace, and Candace has fewer people saying it is Rob.
She needs to point her weapon in a different direction.
You think so?
I think that was her downfall. I don't think going after Rob was going to help, because nobody believed it was Rob at that point. She could have pointed towards Tara. She could have pointed towards Johnny, like literally anybody else. But I think Rob at that point looks like a faithful to almost everyone else.
So we'll be talking about this and much, much more later in the show, perhaps with our special guest.
It's time to talk about the mission.
The guests are getting split into two different groups, right? One group's gonna stay at the castle with Alan, and the other goes to Alan's private art gallery, of course, in the hills of Scotland. So one group is recreating images based just on descriptions. They have to recreate the photo, and then they send the photo over to the gallery, and then they have to try to find it. But of course, Alan's making it too hard. The pictures look alike. This one's a cow, that one's a horse, this one's a baby, that one's a decapitated pig. Of course, he's not gonna make it that easy. Rob, Mark, and Kristen, they're gonna go to the gallery. Everyone else stays back at the castle.
The most interesting part of this whole challenge was, like, Natalie, like, holding Mara up in the air.
I mean, whatever Dorinda's team was doing was amazing. They matched all their pictures. I'm gonna say Dorinda's whole team, they were just eating. Like, they were nailing it. Never even a conversation. It's that when, boom, give us the money. Kristen.
Okay, so Kristen gets the shield, and immediately she announces it to everyone. So she obviously trusts the people that she's with.
Which is crazy, because Rob's in there.
Right.
And they add $12,000. It is now $150,800.
So after the mission's over, of course, they go back to the castle, and this is the time where everybody starts strategizing. And you know, the time that we have in the castle before the round table is limited.
Yeah.
What I thought or found really surprising this strategy session time was that there were so many different names getting thrown out.
Yeah, I mean, at first Natalie and Maura are going up against Candace, but they tell Johnny, and Johnny has an allegiance to Candace. He feels he trusts her a lot, so Johnny goes straight to her and tells her. And I got to tell you, that's a gift. When a traitor knows their name's being floated and someone comes and says to you they're floating your name, that is an absolute gift. So she wants to have a sit-down talk with Steven, and Dorinda walks in and she's like, do you think asking for private time, is that suspicious?
I don't think so.
But Dorinda's like, that's weird.
Yeah, I don't think it's suspicious because we know how small the castle is, and when there's a lot of people, it's hard to have any kind of one-on-one time. So, like, listen, can we have a minute? I think that's okay. That's
now,
fair.
imagine if Dorinda had walked in 5 minutes later, because then Rob walks in, asks Steven to leave, and they're literally just talking traitor to traitor blatantly.
And this is basically the conversation that leads them to kind of like, look at, I'm coming for you, and reverse likewise, I'm coming for you. Okay, we know gloves are off now. It's on.
But then Rob accuses Candace of bad sportsmanship. My thought process is this: if you did it and I'm doing it back to you, how is that bad sports? If I'm not breaking
but I don't
the
think he
rules,
was
it's not bad
saying it.
sportsmanship.
I don't see it that way.
I mean, he used the word bad sportsmanship.
No, but I understand why he's calling out bad sportsmanship, and I kind of agree a little bit, and I'll tell you why. It wasn't like where I came after you and I directly attacked you and then you try to get a lick in at the end, and I get it, that's fair game. But it wasn't like I went after you and then all of a sudden Carolyn votes for me.
Yeah.
That's a little bit petty.
Well, I'll say whether or not it's petty or bad sportsmanship, I don't think it's good gameplay because you're so micro-focused. You are in a microcosm of a microcosm, and you're not looking at the big picture. And I honestly don't think it's good for anyone's game. When the traitors are going back and forth, you can't see everything happening around you. So y'all are going back and forth, and you don't realize everyone else is on Steven. Everyone else in the house is on Steven. Y'all could have both made it out of this completely unscathed, and nobody would have been caught. I mean, tonight's roundtable is like crazy, and I have a lot of thoughts.
And we'll be right back.
Okay, this is gonna be a tough one. We gotta talk about this roundtable. So this roundtable is kicked off by Johnny, and I think, again, it is brave to start a roundtable. To be the first one to speak, y'all, I'm telling you, sometimes we sit there for 3 or 4 minutes, and that's, by the way, that's longer than you think it is.
And I think it's correct to not ever start.
Yeah, you'll wait it out?
Yeah, I'll wait it. We can sit there. I mean, we waited in the turret one time for 15 minutes.
That's crazy.
No talking.
So Johnny kicks it off by mentioning Steven, right? So Eric then is like, whoa. Let's not talk about Steven. Let's all reevaluate. Let's talk about Candace.
Candace defended herself, and she made a big move to go for Rob. And we have a clip of it, so let's watch.
Let's look.
I wanted to bring up something else. When we walked in and sat for breakfast, we were all kind of like postulating as to like why Colton, what would be the reason, et cetera, et cetera. I thought it was interesting that Rob was sort of fumbling and seemed a bit nervous. Dropped his fork and he like hit something on the table. And it was interesting just because you've always been sort of this measured, calm, quiet person who doesn't seem to be easily upset or floundered.
That's not a bad point.
I wasn't nervous. I was upset. I was, as most of you know, really close to Colton.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think I dropped my fork. But yeah, I mean, I think I've dropped a lot of forks in my life, to be fair.
I just have a question. Obviously, last night, you stated that you had a throwaway vote.
Maura will not let you come for Rob.
Tonight's roundtable, it does seem that you're suspicious of Rob.
It's pretty astute.
Okay.
Until the example that I gave was this morning. You just seemed nervous.
I seem nervous.
Yeah.
I do think that Maura's observation is quite astute, but I cannot think of a single benefit to advocating for another faithful. I can't see how they could ever pan out for you. Because if Rob ever goes down, she's going to look very, very guilty.
Right, I agree. I think the one thing that I noticed in that clip is that Candace for sure could have saved herself by not going after Rob.
Like, think so?
Going after Rob was not the play. Going at Rob, I think he has too many people in his corner.
Well, then she tried to bring up that Rob said Lisa's name to her, and there's obviously no way to prove this, but also Rob doesn't deny it. Let's take a look at it.
You had mentioned Lisa's name to me, and I had not heard
It's
her
just
name
vindictive.
at
She's just
all at
mad.
any point at that time.
But honestly, it's fair. You can play the game how you want to play it.
Colton is saying Lisa's name. I did wonder if you could have been using Colton to deliver information.
Okay.
Colton brought up Lisa's name the first time. I agreed with him, I wrote it down, and Lisa did not go. I told Colton the next day, I'm gonna try to help you tonight at the round table. And so whenever I had something to say that I thought was adding to the conversation, I did.
In that moment, when her first plea to go after Rob didn't work and she got a little bit of pushback, then she started to flounder. She's like, well, also this, well, also this. And it's like, if you don't have a concrete point to stand on to drive home, and you come up with like, okay, well, let me try this way to get in, let me try this way to get in, it doesn't land as well with everyone.
Obviously, Rob feels very confident because they say, who wants to use the dagger? And he's like, not me. He's like, because that could have really helped him out, but he's feeling so confident he doesn't even use the dagger. Yeah. They all vote, and there are 9 votes for Candace. It was a bloodbath. I mean, she's basically like, I am a traitor.
And then the episode ends with Rob alone in the turret, you know, trying to just contemplate his thoughts and see what's going to happen now.
Let's see what happens.
Traitor from the very start, Rob. Now you're the last man standing. How does it feel to be the slayer of housewives?
Feels pretty good.
Honestly, it does.
Tonight, as per the rules of my game, you must recruit one more player to join you. Shortly, you will invite one faithful to a secret meeting. There, you will offer them a very simple ultimatum. Join you or die.
Is there ever a scenario as a faithful where you die?
It depends on who's in, like, if you have, like, for example, hear me out. I truly believe that if you would have given Tony Vlachos an ultimatum on any other season after what you did to him, he'll be like, I'll just fucking die instead. I really think Tony Vlachos would be like, I would rather. You don't think so?
No, he would play.
You think so?
But I do think there's a scenario where it would be correct for a faithful to give up their life if, like, it meant that it will expose the traitor.
I mean, I'm not that sacrificial, but if it's someone whose game I'd really want to fuck up.
Yeah.
Rob chose to recruit Eric, but honestly, I like his original plan. It's devious, but bring in Johnny, sacrifice him, and then bring in Eric after.
I don't mind the Eric. Like, I like Eric because he's able to control him. I agree with you. Maybe Johnny, maybe Tara. Because Lipinski, I don't think she can handle it. All of a sudden, she's going to have to lie to Johnny.
Someone to
right?
sacrifice.
And that's like, like literally that's going to make them implode.
I mean, it's brutal, but it's very Rob.
I don't hate Eric, though.
No, it's a good choice.
Yeah.
Eric is gagged.
Yeah.
Eric is literally blown away.
I feel like there's a lot of people Eric would be blown away by, though. I don't feel like I ever heard like him really onto any hardcore strategies about who he thought it was. We don't know if Eric's gonna like accept it or not, but I don't really see a scenario where he turns it down. Do you?
Yeah, because I don't think he wants to mess up Rob's game, and you might as well play with him, you know what I mean? I don't know, but I know this. We're gonna be back in just a minute with the beautiful, the brilliant, and betrayed Candace Dillard Bassett. Welcome back, everyone. We are so lucky to have our next guest, a beauty queen, a reality TV star, a recording artist, from winning Miss United States to stirring the pot on Potomac, and I just learned how to pronounce that. And now, the latest member of the Banished Traitors Club. You're in good company. Please welcome Candace Dillard Bassett.
Hello.
Candace, I gotta tell you, Bob has been
Oh my God.
cheerleading you from the minute we saw you were on this.
I am in awe of your support. Well, we have to talk, sir.
Yes.
Because I watched the podcast. I'm a fan. I love the podcast. You was hating on me.
I wasn't hating on you.
Yes.
I was specifically hating on the idea to do a conga line.
Well, I am the conga line.
And
the conga line is me.
But
so you hating on that, you hating on me.
No. See, you're taking this way too personal.
Okay.
I'll say this. He was not hitting on you nearly as much as a man named Rob Rouse.
Let me tell you something. I'm coming to get him.
In the beginning, we saw all three of the traitors up in the turret, and you guys made a happy little pact. Like, we're not going to do anything. We're going to all stick together. What happened?
You have to talk to the snake about that.
I mean, we watched what happened with Lisa.
Yes.
Okay?
Oh.
And I feel, you're not going to like this part, so brace yourself, but I feel like you took that so personal.
I did.
That he went after Lisa.
Yes.
And I don't feel, from what we saw, that he directly was going after Lisa. I feel like the whole train was going that way, and he just happened to jump on.
For me, I'm a loyal person. I'm a loyal bitch, okay? So when I put my hand in that turret and said, we're not going to turn on each other, I meant that.
So Rob votes Lisa, obviously. In that moment, did your emotions get the best of you voting for Rob?
It was a very conscious decision to say, oh, you want to play reindeer games? I'm fucking Rudolph, bitch. We can play games.
So
Candace, won't you guide my slate tonight?
I think I know the answer to this question, but if you had to go back in that moment, would you have changed your vote and vote for anyone different?
No.
You wouldn't.
Because I don't like a snake. Don't fuck with me. We put hands in.
We're the same.
You, but I feel I know.
Are we not the same? We're the same.
Yeah, but it's not right.
It's loyalty.
We
made a pact.
No.
Well,
and you went against the pact.
Well, I'll tell you the proof is in this. No shade. You lasted longer than both of us.
Did I? You really?
I don't think voting for another traitor is a bad thing. If you go into a no-holds-barred fight and someone throws a knee at you, you signed up for a no-holds-barred fight.
Yes.
So you can't get mad when someone kicks you in the dick if you're at a fucking
no
no-holds-barred fight.
We
can do dick kicks today.
I disagree.
Yes.
I think it was too much. I think it was an emotional response.
It was not emotional.
I think it was.
I am an emotional
You're
person.
still mad about it.
I'm not mad about it, but I am going to get his ass.
Yeah, I get it.
And you still have the reunion.
And I look for. Listen, my gown is ready. My eyebrows will be snatched. I'll be ready for the reunion. No, it wasn't emotional. It was very much a. You think you're running shit.
You're trying to send a message.
Yes, it was my warning shot.
Okay, I get that.
Yes.
I wouldn't necessarily do it. I don't actually agree with it, but I understand where you're coming from. So
Yeah.
I respect that. You're throwing a warning shot.
Yes.
Up in the turret that night, he knew that by letting you get Colton, he was going to be able to use it against you. Was that smart of him to let you get him out?
My one regret was not fighting harder to recruit that night.
Who'd you recruited?
Kristen.
I mean, she's cold too.
I know.
She is the ice queen.
That's a bad lady.
Yeah.
I love me some Kristen.
I think that would have been a good move for you to recruit.
He had Colton eating out of the palm of his hand.
Right.
So I knew that he had something there. But I also knew that Colton was like the mouth of the South, that he was running around telling everybody and their mama everything.
Every new theory every day.
Oh my God, Colton. And
he's
Rob was using
bulletin
him.
reports.
Rob would whisper stuff to Colton because he knew Colton was the town crier.
That's
He was going to tell everybody, which is why he had to go.
Now listen, the last day you and Rob were really going after each other. It was crazy. Do you want to see what he was saying about you?
Show me.
Roll that beautiful bean footage.
I feel like there's a target on the Dagger 6.
Really not that much of a target. It's not in the traitor's best interest to murder the person that has it. It's to know who has it.
I'm somebody who likes numbers. I like working with them. I like probabilities. I like percentages. Rob's got the dagger that allows you to have 2 votes at one of the roundtables. That is a great advantage. I feel like I can use him as an ally. Here comes Eric.
Okay, good. He's fine. He's trustworthy because he voted.
Oh, sweet little Eric.
I love Eric. He's
He
good
just
skin.
want to write his songs.
He's great skin.
Sound crazy, but I think it might be Candace.
Okay, interesting. I wrapped my head around Candace last night, and I feel like even though we don't have hard evidence, meaning fingerprints in this game, Candace is smart, and she's been consistent up until the throwaway vote. That was the one thing that, like, made me, you know what I'm saying?
It was really weird that she didn't vote for me, too. I thought I was getting a vote coming my way, at least from her.
Yeah.
The last thing Colton said to me last night was Candace.
He didn't have to say that.
He's a bitch.
The motion was already going. He did not have to do that.
Right now is basically to push for Candace. I mean, she's gonna start making conspiracy theories about me.
I was never.
You wrote his name down
Because
at the
he
roundtable.
fucked up the pact. I expect the others to sniff me out. That's the game. But we made a pact in this turret, and you went against the pact.
Do
so
you think if
eat a shoe.
you didn't write his name down, then he potentially wouldn't have gone after you?
No, I think he still would have. And
I
I'm
think
going to
so,
tell you
too.
why. Human behavior, okay, is important here. I have an honorary MD, okay? And I look at behavior.
Honorary is, I'm screaming. Honorary.
My parents are doctors.
Crazy.
It's honorary, but it's an MD.
So you're basically a doctor.
Basically, pretty
Okay.
much, yes. If you look at my name, there's like a shadow of MD behind it.
That's Dr.
Okay.
Bassett to you.
Yes. Listen, okay? Human behavior would speak differently. His behavior spoke to what his character was and what he was going to do. He told me with his actions what he
Okay.
was going to do. When he voted for Lisa, looked in our faces and said he was sorry, and then did it again the next night or very soon after, we are in hell. Get me out of here.
I agree.
He was never gonna.
He was
he was
not
never gonna play with
that.
you.
He
can't
was not.
trust him.
No, he was not going to take me with him.
He was
Okay,
never
so he's
gonna
not
play
going
with
to
you.
take you with him. I agree.
Yes.
He's not with you. He did it twice.
You're from Real Housewives. You're used to playing with actual criminals. But I will say this. But
No
Rob,
shade.
but-
No, maybe a little.
Right.
Maybe a little.
I mean, listen. The truth is the truth.
They are facts.
But listen, Rob was not the only person saying your name. There were a lot of people, and I want you to take a look at it.
Dorinda, we're just saying who would be the least person you'd suspect.
Or who is the person that feels like they could flip, like, and like still keep the facade or whatever it is.
I don't know, you guys. Candace.
Mora. Oh my God.
Last night I was having a conversation with Colton about
Motherfucking Colton.
It always goes back to Colton,
Colton.
which goes back to Rob.
that she did a throwaway vote on Rob. If you think about it, right, Candace stuck on run and she was very consistent. Why do a throwaway vote when she wanted to stay consistent in this game and not just...
Well, I did a throwaway vote.
No, but different. Because Candace...
What do you mean, but different?
Her entire brand.
That's, yeah.
Ciao, Mora.
That's unlike her.
This throwaway vote is the thing that ended up being your undoing. But no one can argue that Rob is very good. I gotta be honest, Rob might be the best traitor who's been.
Take it back.
I mean,
I feel it.
He's bananas. He's not my favorite.
He's a rotten banana. Rob is smart at sniffing out the impressionable saints. Okay.
Yes.
And Colton was very impressionable. He was carrying Mora across thresholds all over Scotland. Okay,
right now.
She was going to ride with him to the wheels fell
If
off.
you speak ill of Rob, Mora will
she
put
is
an Irish
coming-
curse on you.
Listen,
she
she's
will
coming
river
with her
dance on your
daggers.
toes.
It's true. That is true. But I also think that, like, that's a sign of a good player that he was able to recognize the people that would follow.
Oh, he's
like
good.
sheep.
Oh, yes.
And
No
he's
one's arguing that.
He's
He's
got
great.
them. He's got Eric. He's got
Yeah, he
Mark.
had them all.
He's got them all.
There's something going on where everyone in the castle, except for you, seems to be completely charmed by Rob. Why did his charm not work on you?
I'm a good reader of energies. His energy always read just
vile, treacherous, dirty snake that's slithering in the ground.
Oh my goodness.
How's our energy?
We're taking this so
Beautiful.
hard today.
Great. Your energy, well, we talked. We are twins. Like, we have
Yes.
too much in common.
Mm-hmm.
Your energy is great. You have great energy. I was scared of you, but you have great, because you're just menacing.
No, see,
I
everybody
watched you on your
I
season.
just
I
play
was like,
that way
oh
on
my
TV.
God, my God, today. You have great vibes,
Thank
great
you.
energy,
I can
good
vouch
hair.
for Rob.
Thank
I
you.
can vouch for Boston Rob.
Rob
Y'all,
has good edges.
yeah. If you're not
Yes.
competing with Boston Rob, he is a lovely guy. At one point, you and Steven are having a private conversation. Dorinda comes in, you ask her for some space, and then Rob comes in, asks Steven to leave, and you two have it out. Let's take
That was it.
Let's look at it real quick.
So I'm hearing my name. Where's that coming from?
I've heard it from, like, almost everyone. I'm not gonna push for you at the roundtable.
I feel like you already are.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
Why is my
He looks nervous.
suddenly coming up?
You are so stone cold. He's kind of shaking his boots a little bit, I think.
He should be.
This morning.
Not yesterday.
Or is he faking that he's nervous? I can never tell with this guy.
Colton was saying my name.
Yeah.
It would be convenient for you to just be like, oh, it's fine. Let's murder Colton.
Right.
You peep game.
Yeah, but he's good. Okay, I got lots of questions.
It's about to get real spicy. Scoville levels going up right now.
So you don't trust me, basically is what you're saying.
I didn't say that. We have different
values.
I'm sorry.
Walt Whitman himself couldn't have written that.
Listen,
We're sorry.
you told Lisa you were sorry.
I feel like you're taking this very personally.
I'll take my shoe off.
This is a game.
It is a game,
It's 100% a game.
and you are a snake.
Can I say what I actually truly think is really unsportsmanly? When you're playing a game and then you do something and then someone's
Don't
like, you're being
gaslight me.
so...
That
you're
is gaslighting
When someone's like,
101.
ew, you're so emotional.
Let me
Now
tell
I'm
you
not
something.
having
Let me tell you
fun.
something. The way
No.
give me my Emmy, because the way I was so restrained, I wanted to cuss him into next Thursday.
When you're playing a game with someone and you're both doing cutthroat,
Yes.
and then they're like,
Just own
and then they're
it.
going, ew, you're being mean.
right.
Why are you being mean to me?
Eat my shoe.
You don't find that you don't find that
I don't agree. I think in that moment when he started that conversation, when he said, "I'm not gonna come for you,"
He was lying.
right?
He certainly was.
He may have been, or
He
he
had
may
already come
not
for
have
her.
been.
Right.
He may not have been.
That's what mean that he had already
Right
came for her.
after you said
Rob
what
from
you
Boston.
said, he for sure. You
I know
gave
they have
your
more
hand
sense in
away.
Oh my God,
Boston
he
than
charmed
this.
you.
No, you gave.
Rob charmed you.
He got your ass too.
Oh
Where's
my
your
God.
snake bite? Show me your snake bite.
Rob has charmed you.
Wait, is it on your
This
wrist?
is crazy.
He got your neck. Where'd he get you?
Oh my God, you've been
I
charmed.
don't
Wait, listen.
All right, so let's just say in an alternate universe, you have survived this roundtable, and you and the Alabama snake charmer have to go back upstairs and look at each other. What's the vibe gonna be?
I'm walking into the turret with my shoe off.
And go over the eyes.
I'm
Physical
cracking
violence.
skulls.
Listen, I'm not above it.
Listen, and we're up high. He might just fall out the window. I don't know how it happened.
I'll tell you what. I love your loyalty. I do.
Thank you.
And I think it's something to be admired. It's something that like I hold true to myself outside of these
Outside of
games.
the game, yes.
But I think like inside the game, maybe sometimes you gotta check it a little bit.
Well, I appreciate that is your view.
Yes.
I think what makes me me and makes me be able to go to sleep at night is knowing that across
and
the
through.
board, this is how I have to be. Because I don't have any regrets.
That's fair.
You have done a lot in your life. Beauty queen, music, reality TV. What do you think prepared you the most for this show?
Oh, God, pageantry. Because you have to be able to turn on the charm at any time. Whenever I was like in the castle with the cast, it was like I would go 1, 2, 3, okay, turn it on. And I'd go in and do whatever or say whatever. And I was also having to like flip between thinking like a faithful and thinking like a traitor. And in pageants, you're backstage and you're like rubbing your teeth and pulling your boobs up and like making sure that like you can't see your hoo-ha if your slit's too high. And then
oh my God, it's like drag.
you go yes, no, it is like drag. And you go 3, 2, 1, stage, lights, camera. And you have to be on and be ready. Yeah. And it's so much of that is just, it runs parallel. It's
okay,
so
I'm going to give you
similar.
a challenge. Prepare to snap into your pageant mode, and I'm going to give you a pageant answer. You have to make it pageant. It cannot be catty. You ready?
Okay.
And 3, 2, 1. Candace,
hi.
We saw that on The Traitors, you were betrayed by Rob Roush. How do you practice forgiveness in a moment like this?
Thank you for that question. You know, I was raised in a home where forgiveness was paramount. My mother went through so many awful, terrible things in her life, and just watching her be resilient and stand up and forgive over and over again has taught me so much about the power of forgiveness. Jesus talks about turning the cheek.
You went, Jesus. You win.
As a young Christian woman who is vying for the title of Miss Traitors USA, I want to win and show the world that we can all forgive.
You have joined the land of the banished.
Oh, Jesus.
Who are you rooting for now? Who do you want to win this show?
I love Mark. I love Mark so much, and I love Kristen. Like, if I had to choose, like, really, I love all of them. Yeah. Tara, Johnny, like, I want them all to win.
Well, Candace, thank you so much for joining us. You played an awesome game.
Thank you.
It's been such a pleasure to get to know you here.
Likewise.
And you were really fun to watch.
And I have to say, you are as beautiful in real life as you are on television.
More.
Even more. Truly, any more. This is why you won. This is why you are royalty.
Yeah.
And for our audience, please, please, please stay tuned. We're going to talk more about fashion and incredible looks coming up right after this. Welcome back. I hope you're wearing your very best because it's time to talk fashion. Yes. For those of you listening and you're not watching, first of all, what's going on? You need to tune in for, y'all, today, Boston Rob is wearing a big pink polka dot rhinestone zoot suit. It's crazy.
And I gotta tell you, I love it. I feel like this is my color.
And if you want to see it, you can go over and watch the video version on Peacock or on YouTube. Now let's talk about these looks. We got Mark, and I gotta say, it is getting repetitive. It's big pants, big shirt.
Same color.
Yeah.
This has flowers on it.
This is a good look.
It's on brand. This is the Mark look.
Now we got Candace. Candace, this is also a signature look for Candace. It's kind of like a short skirt or a short teddy or a short kind of thing with a big contrasting trim around the edge. It is giving Christmas.
Yeah,
but
I mean, Candace is beautiful. This is definitely Mrs. Claus vibes.
But listen, it's Christmas time. It's time. We got Mara, who I think black is her signature color, right?
Mara wins the fashion of the season.
She's wearing like a beret and like kind of a twisted top. And I can't tell if it connects to the pants or not, but they go really, really well together. It looks like it might almost be the exact same fabrics with a sickening pair of pumps. She knows how to serve a look. She really does. All right, we got the sleeveless man himself. Rob is wearing a sweater with broken hearts on it. That's very telling. It looks good. It's a little predictable, but it does look good, though.
I mean, I am a fan of the way Rob has been playing this season of Traitors. But this sweater, it's so dumb. Look at it. Look at it. Look at that thing. That is not real. That is like someone learned to sew 101, and he was like, okay, put it on the good-looking guy, and maybe it'll look good, and people will be cool.
Yeah, Rob, try a backwards baseball cap next time.
I've seen him doing that in the turret. It's a much better look, bro.
Alan Cumming back in brocade with a big old bow tie right in the front, a big pair of right frame glasses, that signature Alan Cumming like split bang. I think this looks like a fashion teacher at Parsons.
I mean, like, it's hard for me to look at it because like it's blending in with not only the rug but the curtains as well.
But how smart is that? Someone's looking for you. Standing against the wall,
hiding in plain sight. I would wear a bow tie like that. I like that. That's a cool bow tie. It's a cool suit. It fits him well.
Yeah.
I'm like not a huge fan of all the pattern, but
you never wore a brocade?
I don't know what that is.
Well, there
What's
it
a
is.
brocade?
Brocade.
Brocade.
All right. As our resident fashion expert, what was your
Yes.
favorite look of the week?
Yes, I mean, this is going to come as a big surprise to a lot of people, but I thought Mara, once again, had the best outfit.
And I'm going to have to agree with you. Mara, you are the winner of this week's Fashionista Traitors Iconic Moment.
We're almost out of time, but before we go, let's talk about what we think is coming up next.
Yeah, I mean, I got to say, like, I do think Eric is going to accept. It would be crazy not to.
Yeah, I don't think anybody has the propensity to be able to just let themselves get murdered.
Right? I'm nervous about if Eric will do a good job because he don't got that dog in him. I don't know how to say it. He ain't got that dog in him.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
that feels accurate, but maybe he could surprise us.
If Eric makes it to the fire pit, I will genuinely be shocked. I'm not gonna lie.
Do you think that Rob recruited him just as a pawn to potentially banish him?
I actually think that Rob has recruited him with the intention, if I need to turn on you, I will, but I don't plan on it. But I will.
I think that's a good plan if I'm Rob.
Yeah, I agree. Listen, Rob's playing the game really, really well, so I'm incredibly impressed. Rarely do you see a traitor come in and take over the tour. They're usually going to be very like, you got the expertise, you know what's going on, you've already been playing this game, and they usually follow along, and it's not unusual for them to get just completely devoured by the traitor who's been established or found out really easily.
It's also hard because they have this mindset that they're playing the entire game as a faithful, and now they have to switch. So I think if there's a role that's probably the most difficult, it's that, going from faithful to traitor at the last minute and being able, because now you really start to feel like, the guilt of your decisions because you were recruited, and you have to really be duplicitous to be able to play that way. I almost think it's almost advantageous if you're recruited late in the game to immediately go after the person that recruited you.
Honestly.
Yeah.
Because they've been murdering your friends left and right.
You're supposed to figure out a way to work with the traitors, but that's one situation where it's not going to help you long term.
I agree. If Eric goes and outs Rob immediately and then they believe
Give him the crown. Give him the crown.
Oh, end the show there.
Yeah.
Don't even go to the fire pit. Alan, call our Ubers. We're going home.
I don't think it's going to happen. For the record, I don't think that's going to happen, but if it does, you deserve it, Eric. All right, thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to watch episode 9 of The Traitors, only on Peacock next Thursday. And you guys know you can find us on the Traitors official podcast, which drops after every episode on Peacock and on YouTube.
And do not forget to listen and follow wherever you get your podcast so you never miss an episode. And also, do not forget to follow us on socials at the Traitors US and come see me on Broadway. All right, everyone. Bye. Don't die.